Hey guys, it's Allie from Color and Playing with Allie. I have a little bit of a different filming setup today, so just bear with me if things are a little weird or out of frame. Today I wanted to film a colored pencil collection video. I think I've dragged out all of my colored pencils. I think they're all here. So go grab a cup of your favorite beverage, coffee, tea, soda, water, whatever floats your boat, because we're gonna be here a while. But I just wanted to film this for you guys and show you my collection. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I also wanted to give a little bit of a disclaimer that you may hear my kids or my husband in the background. I am back in my room/studio filming, but I cannot guarantee that you won't hear little feet or little voices. So with all that being said, I'll go ahead and get started. And some of these are in cases, some of these are still in their original tins, some of these are in yogurt buckets. It's just however I have them organized is how I'm going to show them. So first I'm going to do my Faber-Castell products. I think that's how I'm going to do it, is by brand. And these are my set of Albrecht Dürers. And I have them out in this bucket because this is how I use them. I think I have the full set of 120. I think they're all in here is what I mean. Like, I know I have the full set, but I'm not sure if they're all in this bucket. But that's what these are. And I just have them in like an old foyer bucket. And then of course I have my polychromos, and there are some, I have the whole set of 120, but there are some that are not in here because, let me grab my other case. There are some that are not in there because I have them in this travel case. Y'all know me, I love the stars, and I thought this was the cutest little wrap. But I have my tritone colors plus some grays and browns in this, so that when I travel I have all the tritone colors with me, all the basics that I need to do blending and what have you. So that's where the rest of those are, but I do have the full set of 120 of the polychromos as well. And I'm more of like a, I know some people really like the wooden case, and while that's really pretty and really cool, I don't have like the room for it in my studio, and like I feel like I would be too precious with them if I put them in something, if I had them in something like that magnificent wooden case that they sell them in. So I bought mine in the tin sets, and then I just store them out where I can easily use them. And then the last Faber-Castell pencil that I have is the Gold Fabers, and these are more of the student grade. I used to have these in that little wrap. As a matter of fact, that's what I bought that wrap for, but then I decided to put my polychromos in there instead, since I like to take them with me. But this is the full set of 48. And these are a wonderful pencil. They perform to me kind of like, I don't know what I would compare them to. They're not super creamy like a Prismacolor, but they're not like, they're more blendable and a little more creamy than the polychromos, so they're like somewhere in between, and they're not quite as heavily pigmented, but they're still very good pencils. The next brand that I'm going to talk about is Prismacolor, because why not? Let me just rearrange some things here. So to begin with, I will show you like the first set of Prismacolors that I purchased. I went immediately for the largest set, and I think I've shown this bucket on my channel before, but this is like my bucket of Prismacolors. And I have not only like old ones, but also like some open stock ones that I've picked up here and there, like these greens. mostly ones that I use out of my tritone sets. And then this was part of the original set of 150, as well as this, which I showed in my last video about how I use Prismacolors. I store my 48 favorite colors in tritone sets in this, and this goes with me everywhere. Like, it goes with me anytime I get in the car. I have colored with these at restaurants, doctor's offices, waiting for, you know, my husband to get out of an appointment, whatever. These come with me everywhere. And this was an original set of 150, and I no longer have the box for it. Then next I have these Scholars. This is the 60 set. I think this is the biggest set there are. I have these. I haven't done a whole lot with them, but I considered making these my travel set of Prismas, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do with these yet. I mean, besides just add them to my collection. And then I purchased these, the Verithins. These are really, really good if you're wanting to get into like tight spaces, or like get something down that's really detailed without losing like too much of the tip of your lead. But I like these. I have a couple of, like, for instance, like the Joanna Basford miniature coloring books, and these work great in those coloring books. Unfortunately, they only come in a set of 36, but there you go. And then here recently, I've been collecting these smaller 12 count sets just because I love the art on the tins, and I like how they're little neat curated sets. So like, it's sometimes a fun challenge just to take a set, like a basic set of 12, and sit down and see what I can do with it. So I've been collecting these smaller sets as well. And then last but not least, my backup set of 150 Prismas, and I have not broken into these yet, but this is my backup set that, you know, when I run out of something in this original set, I can pull from here, and I won't have to go shopping for open stock pencils. The next category, the next brand of pencils that I'm going to go through are Caran d'Ache. And the first one that I'll show you are my Pablos. These are a great pencil, kind of similar to the Polychromos, and I will say that if I had to compare them, or if I had to pick between them, I would probably pick the Polychromos over these. They tend to run a little bit cheaper, and I find that they lay down a little bit smoother, but these have really nicely pigmented colors, and their color selection is really good. And they also have I think these have a good light fast rating. Yeah. So there are those. And then next we have my super colors, which I actually haven't broken into yet. I wanted to do like a watercolor test video and put all my watercolor pencils that I have against each other. I'm thinking about getting maybe like a couple more brands of watercolor pencils just to make it like more of a battle. But these are the super colors, and I have not tried them yet, so I cannot give an opinion on whether or not I like them yet or not, but I'm looking forward to breaking into these. And last but certainly not least, these are my Luminance pencils. I'll kind of open, that's the back of it. I'll open the front so you can get a little peek at them. But these have, I mean, by far the most vibrant pigmented colors that I've ever used in a colored pencil. And the feel is not like any other pencil that I have, really. if I had to compare them to anything, I would compare them to like a pastel pencil. I know that sounds weird, but they're kind of dry and a little bit chalky, but they blend so smoothly and they lay down color so smoothly. And, you know, the feeling that you get when you color with these is not unpleasant at all. So I really like these. And whenever I want like color that's like jumping off the page, I reach for these. And they're also light fast. So those were my Caran d'Ache pencils. The next brand of pencils I'm going to go through, going from the top to the bottom, are my Crayolas. And I know we always tease Crayolas in the coloring community for being like, oh, they're just Crayolas. But, I mean, honestly, for what you pay for these are really good pencils. So I have this 100 set. I actually have two 100 sets, and the other one is in here. It's just a really affordable set to get your hands on. In this particular case, I let my kids use the pencils in here. My oldest especially is really good about putting the colors back where they belong. Even at, you know, he's almost 5. And he's got a good sense of like order and putting things back where they go. So I trust my almost 5-year-old with these, which is saying a lot. This also contains my first set that I bought of, the Colors of the World. And you can tell that small children have used this. But, so that was my very first set of like 100 Crayolas, and then the 24 Colors of the World. And then I have these. This was a 50 set of Crayola Twistables. My kids have also played with these because I do not like these pencils. I cannot get them to blend for anything, and they break easily and you can't sharpen them. So I do not prefer coloring with those. And then this is like kind of like my master case of Crayolas. This has my set of 120. And I did them in the color order from Pamela's Passion for Pencils. I think it's a beautiful color order. And then I also have my Colors of the World. And these are my Colors of the World, sorry. And my metallics in here. I bought the 8 set of metallics. These metallics are actually really good metallics. I was very surprised. I paid like less than $5 for those. Maybe less than $4. And they're very shimmery, very bright metallics. So this is kind of like my set of Crayolas, whereas like this one I let my kids play with. And I think that is all of my Crayola pencils. So let's move on. So the next brand that I'll take you through in my collection is Castle Arts. First set, I have to open them because I haven't labeled them. Okay, so these are the Castle Arts Gold. The 120 set in the case. I like to get them in a case rather than in a tin because this is how I tend to use my pencils. And a little bonus, I filled out the swatch chart. But these are, you know, really nice all-around pencils for general coloring purposes. They feel creamier than like an oil-based pencil. I think they're definitely wax-based. They blend nicely. Nothing can beat the creaminess of a Prisma, but these are nicely pigmented and they lay down well in my experience. Some colors here and there can be a bit hit and miss or scratchy. And the next set you're going to have to bear with me because these two go together, and it's like they're pastel tints and their original soft touch color pencils, and they're all mixed in the Coloring Bliss color order. Whoopsie, loose lead in there. But they're all mixed into like a broader color order. It's a beautiful color order. I just love flipping through it. And then this set contains like the tritones, like how I do my Christmas colors, and I'll link Coloring Bliss down below so that you can get, I think you can get those charts either for free or for very cheap. But these, they had to combine like the pastel tints and the regular colored pencils in order to get a light, medium, and dark for each color. Apparently the color selection was a little bit more difficult to work with in this set, but I think they did a beautiful job. So these are my Castle Arts like tritones. Like if I had to just grab a set to take with me, I would take this because it's got like, you know, got a few detailing tools, a blender pencil, the black and the white, all that kind of stuff. But all these pencils came from the original Soft Touch 120 and the pastel tints, which have 48 colors. And then the last item I have, which is not in its case because I kicked them out in favor of putting my Prismacolors, are the metallics. So this is kind of what they look like. I find that the Castle Arts metallics are not, I don't think they give you the most bang for your buck as far as like what you pay for them versus their shimmer output. Let me go like actually grab the swatch chart for these and I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, this is the swatch chart from the metallics, and really the shine that you're seeing, a lot of that is from the bloom. Like you can see it really well on some colors, like this crystal blue is really pretty. The olive verde is very pretty, but like I just don't find that there's a lot of shine to it personally. Sorry, my son came in the room to ask me a question. But yeah, like I don't know, I find the Crayolas perform better than these in my personal opinion. But those are all of my Castle Arts pencils, and we will move on to the next brand. Sorry, my kiddos are acting a little bit needy right now. But this is like my master set of fruit cleaners. I need to put a label on it so I know what it is. But this has my square brute cleaners, which I have in Pamela's Passion for Pencils color order. And then I also have in here their pastel set. I think they're called macarons. I did not keep the original box, but I have their macaron pencils in here, and I have room for a few extras as well. Don't have quite enough room to put that set of 80 in here with it, but I'm alright with that. This gives me a really nice range of colors to work with, and I find, especially these pastels, these go down more like a Prismacolor. They have very vibrant colors and a more creamy feel, and these are more like polychromos. So the fact that I can put both of them in the same case and color with both types of pencils is really nice. And that is it for my brute cleaner pencils, and I think the rest of this stuff is just kind of all kinds of different random brands of pencils. So let me get those organized and I will be right back to share those with you. Okay, so I lied. There are a couple of sets that I have that kind of go together, so I'm going to group those together as well. And the first is, I shared a swatch chart this week of these on my Instagram, are these Krita colors, and these are the mega colors, so they're extra chunky pencils. Like, it feels like a toddler colored pencil, but you know, for those of us who struggle with hand pain, these are wonderful. And these are the metallics, and then these are the biggest set of just the regular colored pencils that they have. I find that these are kind of similar to the luminance and how they feel when they go down, but they are very dusty, I will say. They're very dusty. I need to work with them a little bit more to see if that's a consistent problem, but I dealt with so much crumbs and dust when I was swatching these. So there are those. And then next on the list, I have the actual very first set of colored pencils that I bought when I was starting my adult coloring journey, and those were the Arteza watercolors. And I think these were the ones I took a picture of for my thumbnail for this video. And I bought these because the reviews seemed really good, and I could use them for either watercoloring or regular coloring. So I was really excited about that. And the way I have this organized is in the front, like this front pocket here has all of the tritones. That's why it seems a little like it jumps over here to the yellows. But I have like all my Color Wheel colors and their tritone sets right there from Coloring Bliss. I'm pretty sure she has like just the charts that tell you what the tritones are for free on her website, and I'll link that below. But yeah, these were the first ones that I bought specifically for adult coloring, and to be honest, I really haven't worked that much with these. I would like to color with them more. These are beautiful pencils, and I do think that they perform well. So there's that. And then, of course, I had to wait forever for these to come back in stock, but I bought these not that long ago, actually. These are the regular Arteza colored pencils. I may put these in a case, but I did use these for a coloring page, and I found that they felt to me the most similar to like a Pablo, and the colors are really nice. Not quite as pigmented, of course, but I find that Artezas generally are good quality, maybe a bit overpriced for what they are, but generally good quality and reliable products. And I think now we're actually getting into the stuff that is more like just random budget pencils, so we'll move on to that next. The next set of pencils, the next couple sets, are from Calor. I think that's how you say it. This was the first set that I bought. The tin got so damaged that it will not close. Like, it got so beat up. I'm not quite sure how, because I remember getting it out of, like, it was packed in a box pretty tightly. Like, you know, it wasn't just shipped to me in like a bubble mailer. But, like, I really needed an alternate. I'll probably end up putting these in a case just because it's a little frustrating. These, I think, are in color family order, or like, I tried to pick my own tritones from this set. And that's what you see on this top row here. But I remember in general while I was working with them, it's been a while since I've worked with these, but they were, you know, creamy enough that it was pleasant to color with them, and pigmented that it wasn't frustrating to use them. And but the scratchiness or the feel of how they laid down was kind of variable. Like, some pencils would feel really nice and some pencils would feel really dry and scratchy. So just that inconsistency is probably what makes them a budget pencil. And then I do have this beautiful set, which I know Pamela from Pamela's Passion for Pencils talks about all the time, and I'm not even sure that I have like broken into these at all yet. Yeah, like, I still have swatch chart and all the foam in here. But this got to me in a much better shape than the other tin. It actually closes. It's not bent anywhere. And I think they like pack it with foam and stuff, so if you buy this set, chances are very good that it will actually get to you in one piece without bending. But those are my two Calor sets. Next up we have Speer Farben. I am totally guessing on that pronunciation. I have used these to color, I think I did it like a gemstone. Like, this was just me working on my own. I don't have a video of it, but back when I first started coloring, I did like a coloring gemstones on black paper tutorial. I think that was from Jennifer's Day at Coloring Bliss. And I found that I really liked the way these pencils feel and the way they lay down. And I also did a coloring page recently in one of my coloring books with these, and once again, I didn't film it, but the picture is up on my Instagram, and I usually try to tag what tools that I use with my pictures, just, you know, in case anybody wants to know. But I do like those pencils a lot. They lay down creamy enough. I find them very consistent in how they lay down and in their pigmentation. So I have no complaints about the Spearfarben. The next set is this one. I don't even remember where I heard about these or why, or what induced me to buy them. But, I honestly don't remember if I've ever used these on a coloring page. I do know that I have swatched them, but nothing stood out about them to me, like whether for good or bad. Like, they're just, you know, pretty good pencils. Can't say anything horrible, can't say anything great. So there's those. These, I know this is an Arteza gouache box, but the packaging, I did a full review of these. These are the Artist Loft, I don't know if you can read that, the Artist Loft color pencils that came in that atrocious plastic packaging that like almost cut my hand trying to get it open. So I put them in this gouache box from Arteza. Don't buy these. This is the 150 set that you may or may not have seen in, like, if you go into the drawing aisle at Michael's. I think this is them trying to compete with Prismacolor, and it's not a competition at all. These color somewhere between Crayola and Castle Arts. They're not awful, but a lot of them are very scratchy, at least to me, and I don't enjoy using these, so my kids also get to color with this a lot. Just don't waste your money like I did. Don't buy these. I mean, I bought them to review them, and I wouldn't buy them again. The next one was kind of a random purchase. I think I bought these at Staples, and I have no complaints about these pencils. These are Staedtler, and they're a hexagonal barrel, and the thing I hate about Staedtler products in general is that they don't really do color names. These ones do numbers, but it's kind of hard to, like, I think it's right down here at the bottom. Like, this one is 57, and then this one is 553, so they go kind of all over the place. But as far as, like, performance-wise, they do really well. But I don't know what the line is. I don't know, like, what they're called. They're just Staedtler pencils. That's what annoys me about them, is, like, I can't tell you, like, these are Staedtler whatevers. Like, they don't say that on the box. I know some of their products do, but the ones that I guess they're just generic colored pencils. I don't know. But I do have those. But I nearly forgot, these are not budget pencils by any stretch of the imagination. But this is my Derwent case. Pardon my horrible handwriting. And this case has my Inktense pencils. I do have the full set of 72. As well as the drawing pencils, which I bought kind of on a whim. I think it's part of my birthday haul or something. But I always hear good things about this Chinese white. But yes, I do have these. I know a lot of them need to be sharpened. But sometimes when I get a set of pencils, like, I don't really sharpen them until I've used them. Like, each individual pencil, if I use it, I sharpen it, but I don't sharpen the whole set all at once. So those are the only Derwent pencils that I own. And then let me dig through this stack over here. These bad boys. I think the draw, or the selling point with these, is that they were said to match, like, the Pantone colors. When I swatched these, I don't remember having anything negative to say about them. In fact, I feel like I remember them being quite creamy, and you know, you can see that the leads are fairly thick. So yeah, and the numbering system is really nice. They're laid out in the tin from like 1 to 150, and it's a very straightforward numbering system. So overall, I found these pleasant to use. And this set is one of my favorites out of the budget pencil sets. They're just really pretty pencils. They have good quality pigments. They lay down nicely. I believe I used these on a coloring page recently, and I do want to work with these more. And sometimes I like having a smaller set, like a 72 set rather than a 120. It just seems a little bit more portable, but you still get enough variety that you can do most of like the shading and highlighting that you need to do. These, to be honest, I have not done a lot with these, but again, I feel like a lot of these pencil manufacturers make them to look like the polychromos. So they're nice looking pencils. Metallic writing on the barrel, which is not my favorite, but there you go. But I remember these laying down quite smoothly and being quite happy with how they swatched out, and I do want to get into using these on a coloring page soon. And I also have the Amazon Basics, which lay down quite creamy. They're not as pigmented as like a Prismacolor or even another brand which I'm going to talk about in just a minute, but I mean, for what was it that I paid, like 20 bucks for these? Really not bad. Not a bad job at all on Amazon's part. Now you can tell they kind of cut some corners, like the tin isn't hinged, the trays are these awful flimsy trays, and you know, no dipped end. The pencils look kind of like Crayolas or whatever, but as far as performance, like, if you're going to focus anywhere for a budget colored pencil, focus on performance. I could care less what the pencil looks like. Then I also have, upside down, I have the Starjoy 120. These were, Lori, I think her name is, from Color My World, helped make these. And I love the concept of having like trios of blendable colors all together in a row. I haven't gotten the opportunity to put that concept to use, but when I swatched these, they seemed pretty nice, you know, about on par with like a Calor or something similar. And I had no complaints, and I do want to use these soon on a coloring page. Excuse me. And this set has become one of my new favorite budget pencil sets. These are the, well, I picked the worst pencil possible to try to show that off, the Artex colored pencils. They lay down so smooth and creamy like a Prismacolor, and it does take a little bit more of the color to get it as pigmented as a Prismacolor, but I mean, it's like, I feel like they perform quite similarly, and the color selection is good. Like other reviewers have said, I love the dipped end, I will say that. I prefer that to the undipped end of a Prismacolor. But I will say, like other reviewers have said, if they can match the lead to the barrel more nicely, I think these would be a pretty good like contender to compete against Prismacolors on, like, in just the general coloring market. But I think those are all of my colored pencils. I think we're finally through all of them. And I hope that you enjoyed looking through my collection of colored pencils. I hope that you know, some of my thoughts and first impressions are helpful, and I am still learning. I'm still on my coloring journey. I'm not an expert by any means. So if I said something bad about your favorite pencil, I'm sorry. It's nothing personal. Just my opinion on how I perceive them when I color with them. But my kids are getting a little crazy and wild, so I'm gonna have to cut short my outro. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course I will link all of the pencils that I mentioned in the description below, and if you want to purchase any of the sets through my affiliate links, I would be so grateful, because that helps support my channel. Sorry about my kids. And it helps keep me filming content for you all that you guys love. So I hope that you have a wonderful, colorful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!